this evening. I want to welcome each and every last one of you all this evening. This is BYOB Market Talks. Ladies and gentlemen, as stated, this is Tasha M. Dyer. I am the creator of the BYOB Cash Out, the creator of the BYOB Cash Out. So as you're logging in, what you want to do is you want to drop it in the chat and let me know where you're calling in from, okay? And also, right, we definitely have to get those affirmations intact, okay? We definitely want you to have those affirmations. Good evening, Orlando. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And what are those affirmations? Those affirmations are definitely, I am a master trader. I am the signal. All my trades in profit, okay? Trinidad, good evening. So I am a master trader. I am the signal. All my trades in profit. Now I definitely see quite a few of you all, in the chat. There we go. I see them coming in now. I definitely see quite a few of you all adding to the affirmations, and that's what you want to do, because you definitely want to personalize them. Now, as you are logging on as well, if this is your first time with us on Market Talks, right? This is BYOB Market Talks. If this is your first time on BYOB Market Talks, let me get a 111. Let me get a 111 in the chat. 111 in the chat. Now, let me get a 222 in the chat. Let me get a 222 in the chat if you are still learning how to cash out. If you are still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222 in the chat. 222 in the chat. All right. Welcome and welcome back. Welcome and welcome back. Welcome and welcome back. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and welcome back. So now, everybody, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get my screen share together. And what I wanna do with you all this evening, right? So let me share this. Here we go. Now what we're gonna focus on this evening, first thing first is I'm gonna show you how to cash out, right? We're gonna definitely talk about how to cash out. I want everybody to understand how do you cash out, okay? And then we're gonna focus on the Confluence. We're definitely gonna focus on the Confluence this evening. And we're gonna talk about your pip reaction time. So we had a few questions on the Confluence. I've gotten that question, okay? And then I've also got a question on the Confluence. This is market talk, so this is training. Now, so the question is, are we looking for trades? This is market talk, so we're looking for training. Now, if we happen to run across a trade, we do take it. So yes, we will take a trade if we happen to run across a trade, okay? I want to be clear on that. So we definitely would do that. So, but what we want to do tonight is okay, so just so you all understand how this works and how this call works, and you know how BYOB is set up, the morning calls are typically the calls that we trade on. Those are our live training calls, our live trading calls. The evening calls are what's called market talks, okay? BYOB market talks. Now what we do on market talks are we help you become, now if you got a question, drop it in the chat. You don't have to raise your hand. I just want you to drop it in the chat. Just go ahead and put it in the chat, and what I'll do is I'll address it as we flow through. You know, I'll address it as we flow through. So just drop it in the chat and I'll address it as we train. So, and that's one of the things that I definitely just said we'll cover. That question was pip reaction time. So now what, as I was saying, is on the evening calls, what we do is training. And the training, what it does is it helps you understand how to use the tools, how to maximize it, and for you to become the signal. That's why that's part of our affirmation is I am a master trader. I am the signal. All my trades in profit, right? I'm a master trader. I am the signal. all my trades in profit. That's what we're here to do in the evenings. And that's why we call it market talks. It's for you to have a clear understanding of the market. That's why you see so many 777s in the chat. You know, we don't really do a lot of signals. And the reason we don't do a lot of signals is because you're here to, you enroll, you learn, you profit. You enroll into the academy, you learn how to utilize the tools, right? You learn how to utilize the tools, and you put yourself in a position of profit. That's the philosophy. So we're showing you how you put yourself in a winning position, and not where you're sitting back waiting on us to give you signals. Okay, that's what BYOB is all about. Now, do we? Yes, we will give you things. We show you how to trade with us. We trade with you on the morning calls. So yes, we do that. We made a lot of money this week together. We caught a lot of pips, but you have to know how to do it by yourself. So that's what this is all about. So let's talk about the BYOB cash out. I'm gonna drop down. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. I'm gonna walk you through how to cash out, right? And then we're gonna talk about the Confluence. Well, I'm gonna show you how to cash out. We're gonna talk about your pip reaction time. Now you can't, if you Google it or anything like that, you probably see my name next to it because I actually made that terminology up. So if you're in a Telegram chat, it is definitely, it's Monday through Thursday, 5 and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But in the Telegram chat, the call, those Monday through Thursday calls is pinned to the top, along with the YouTube channel, and it can be dropped in there where it'll show you how to cash out, what I'm about to go over with you right now, okay? So what am I looking for? You are very welcome. Okay, what am I looking for? I'm gonna have a GBP pair, and I definitely want to grab another pair that's not NOS, right? I want to grab something that's not this. Thank you very much for dropping that. So I want to grab another pair because I want to help you understand your pip reaction time as well. Thank you. I got my own trader lingo. Thank you. So let's talk about it. Now, how do we begin how do we begin? So understand, here we are, GBP USD, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm on the 15-minute chart. Understand that I am on the 15-minute chart, right? I got that. So I have my stochastic, okay? So first I want to understand I'm using 3 indicators, okay? I am using 3 indicators, okay? Definitely using 3 indicators. That is the stochastic. It is my Hikinashi candles and my PSAR, okay? So definitely, those are the 3 indicators that I'm using. Now, what I want you to understand is when I'm sitting here and I got my stochastic, okay, this is my first indicator that I'm using. Now, this first indicator that I'm using is my stochastic. Now, understand, you see that it runs from 0 to 100, okay? See that it's running from 0 to 100. So understand that what I'm focused on is this 0 to 80 right here, okay? I'm sorry, 20 to 80. Now, as it's running from 20 to 80, okay, running from 20 to 80, now this is going to determine my direction of the trade. What I want you to have in the back of your mind right now as we go through this, that we are on the 15-minute chart. The 15-minute chart does not, you do not know the direction of the market, okay? You do not know the direction of the market. What you know is that you're either going to take a trade with the trend or you're counter trend trading. You do not know if you're trading with the trend or against the trend right now, okay? So, but we're on the 15-minute chart. Now, this stochastic tells me if I want to take a buy or a sell, okay? I want to take a buy or a sell. So I have my stochastic, it's a leading indicator. Because it's a leading indicator is why I want to look at this first, okay? That's why I want to look at my stochastic first. Then I look at my Hikinashi candles. These are trend candles. They're not Japanese candles. When you look on your phone or anywhere else, This is what Japanese candles look like. So no, I do not have to wait till the second or third candle. I don't have to do any of that. What I'm doing is, because these candles, they translate what the Japanese candles are saying for me. So what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for a red candle, because I know I got the stochastic first. I looked at my stochastic first. My stochastic is at this 80. I got a crossover and cross down. This crossover and cross down is important. Now this stochastic can definitely be up here at the 80. It might not, okay? No, the 15 is not the direction of the trend. So if that, no, the higher time frames give me the direction. The 15 is not the direction of the trend. So let me make sure I clarify that statement. You know, the higher time frames, we're on the 15-minute. I said keep in the back of your mind that we're on the 15-minute, but I want you to keep in the back of your mind that my higher time frame. So this is not telling me what I'm doing. I am either counter trend trading or trend trading. I don't know yet, but that's important. That's very important. So right here for this stochastic, I have the blue line is going to cross over the red. So right here, blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum, okay? Blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum. Now, why is that crossover and cross down important? Because I can be at the 80 and still be pointed up, right? I can be at the 80 and still be pointed up. So I need that crossover and cross down. Now, right here, I'm looking at, now I need everything, because I know I'm looking for a sell, because my stochastic tells me if I'm looking for a buy or a sell. Now I need everything to be in alignment with a sell. So I come up here and I'm looking for a red candle with a flat top, okay? At the top, think about it, it's top, top, top. If I'm looking for a buy, it's gonna be on the bottom, like at the 20, and then I need a flat bottom, I need a piece or at the bottom, okay? So let's keep that should actually help you. So let me answer that in just a second. So now that I have my red candle with a flat top and I have my piece or at the top, I know I'm looking for a sell, okay? I know that I'm looking for a sell. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop my arrow. I'm gonna drop my arrow right here. Now I'm gonna put this up here. So I'm gonna drop my arrow right here, okay? And the only reason I'm putting the arrow right here is so you can literally know where we're at. Please, when you're trading at home, it's gonna impact your pip reaction time, okay? So when you're trading at home, don't put an arrow right there. Please don't put an arrow right there, okay? And now we wanna do something called time frame confluence, okay? And we're gonna get deeper into the confluence tonight, okay? We're gonna do something called time frame confluence. So with time frame confluence, because I don't know if I'm trading with the trend or against the trend or with the swing in the market or what have you. Now, what you're looking for, the question in the chat is, which one do I prefer, trading with the trend or against the trend? Understand the strategy works with both, but that's why I actually put up another currency pair. Understand that if you're trading with the trend, remember the trend is your friend. You're trading with the trend, you can ride out the corrections and everything else. You trade with the trend is your friend. If you're counter trend trading, it is a riskier trade. So you have to understand what you're doing. You need to understand your pip reaction time. You want your skills intact. You want to understand the liquidity in the market. There are things you want to understand. If you want to understand support and resistance lines, you want to know where you are in the market. There are things you want to understand if you counter trend trade. So, but trading with the trend, you know, of course, the trend is your friend because you're with the flow of the market, right? You're actually flowing with the market. But if you're counter trend trading, you're literally just trading a correction in the market. So, and you'll see that in just a moment, okay? Now, when I come here, okay? Oh, you're very welcome. So now when I come here, I got my stochastic, right? Blue line cross over the red candle with a flat top, piece R flip to the top. So I know I got my, this is it. That's in its simplicity, BYOB cash out, okay? Now over here, when I'm looking at a buy, blue line cross over the red and the upward, that cross over and cross up, green candle with a flat bottom, piece R at the bottom, right? That's it right there. Now, for my 111s, okay? 111s. Now, here we have it. Where does my stop loss go? Your stop loss always goes above the piece R for a sell. It goes below the piece R for a buy. Now, Where does it go above it? It can go, I mean, below it, it can go right there below it, or it can go way down here below it. It's a personal decision. Your personal preference, your personal risk management. Drop it where you want to. It just does not go in here. It doesn't go on it. It goes below it. Wherever you want to put it below it is up to you. You want to cushion it more, it's up to you. Wherever you put it is up to you. I am not going to give you a stop loss. You are going to pick your own stop loss, right? But you're going to do a stop loss because whenever this turns around, right? So, oh, thank you. Of all the strategies, this is the simplest. Thank you. So whenever this actually turns around in the market, okay, this is a reversal. When this turns around, then the market has reversed, okay? So that means it's reversed. So you notice that inside of here, the wicks that, look at this. This will touch the PSAR, but it won't go outside of the PSAR. It will touch it, but it won't go outside of it till the market actually reverses. See how this touched the PSAR, but it don't go outside of the PSAR till the market reverses. So let's talk about the actual time frame confluence, right? Let's talk about that. And then we'll get a little bit deeper. Now, first thing first for time frame confluence, I want to drop down to the 5 minute. When I drop down to the 5 minute, this one for this sell, it needs to still be selling. For this buy, it needs to still be buying. It needs to still be selling. It needs to still be buying, okay? Now let's go to the hour. My hour is the swing of the market. My hour is the swing of the market, okay? So this is literally in a sell. So that means that I can grab my 10 pips and cash out. This one is in a buy. I can grab my 10 pips and cash out. We know the trade is going to play out. Nothing is 100%, but you see all the 777s in the chat. So nothing's 100%, but you see the 777s in the chat. So if you're not in the Telegram chat, make sure you get in the Telegram chat. Now, if you are a 111, you grab your 10 pips and cash out, you get some consistency with the trades, then you can begin to look for more, right? So now if you are a 222, meaning you've been trading for a little while and everything, and you're getting a little bit more advanced, right? Now you want to come up here and you check your 4 hour. When I begin to check my 4 hour, how do I know I can get more trades? This is not just a scalping strategy, okay? It is not just a scalping strategy. This can actually, you can take this all the way to swing trading, okay? So when I do that, I check my 4 hour, now I'm talking about the actual trend of the market. When I check that, what is this? What is this? Okay, for my sale, I'm not doing more than 10 pips. I'm not doing more than that because my trend in the market is in a buy. What does that tell me? For my 4 hour, this one is in a buy, so I know I can buy this to the support and resistance line. This is where you want to begin to understand your support and resistance lines. I can buy this to my support and resistance line. And I can continue. How do I know how far? You just keep checking it, right? And that is the strategy in its simplicity. So now let's start talking about Confluence. Let's start talking about that. Let's start look. Oh, wait, I say your pip reaction time. I did tell you that. Let's talk about that pip reaction time real quick. Let's talk about that pip reaction time. And then I want to show you something like how do you identify those trades? How do you identify those trades in some Confluence? Okay, that's what we want to talk about. So now, let's say this trade was active and I want to show you the difference between a GBP and another currency. Like I just grabbed one from here, okay? I just grabbed one from here. So I'm gonna come to the 15 minute. Okay, so we're just gonna grab this one. Actually, that one went for a while. I wanna pull one that's not from, let me see here. Euro has quite a few pips in it too. So let me do, no, and see, that's one of the things I did highlight. You do not have to wait for the flat bottom, flat top to close to get in. So GBP pairs, I mean, Hikinashi candles, I'm saying GBP because I'm reading the next question. Hikinashi candles are trend candles. So when they form as is, right? They form as is. I'm gonna just type one in. So I kind of wanted to show you. So I'm gonna just type one in. All right, so let me show you. So let's just say blue line cross over the red right here. I got a red candle. So let's talk about pip reaction time on both of these, okay? So I actually wanted to grab an arrow. So right here, okay? So let's look at both of these. So, and I'm gonna just look at this. So if I were trying to get my pips, okay, let's just look at this, okay? So this is 16 pips. Like this literally covers 16 pips. You're trying to get 10 pips, okay? You're trying to get 10 pips. So that's 16 pips. Now let's come back to this GBP, right? And this is 57, right? This is 57. So understand there's a training that I did that it helps you understand liquidity and volatility in the market, okay? There's a training that I did that helps you understand liquidity and volatility in the market. So let me talk about your pip reaction time really quickly. So this is where the trade actually activated, right? And now pips, how do I understand, how can I tell how many pips? What you just saw me do is use the ruler, but understand that along the side, these are your pips. So as you go through the academy, this is where the academy is important. As you go through the academy, there's training in the academy on pips. So understand the academy is your foundation of your education. And then this is what I'm doing and showing you how to use the Vibrata is and the strategy that's housed in the Vibrata is just is advanced, right? So the academy is the foundation of your education. And then this is where you just kind of come to your higher level learning. But these are your pips and you will get all of that out of the academy, right? So you definitely want to dive into the academy. Now, so right here, so let's say, so this covered 57 pips. Now here, this covered 16. So like, let me help you understand. I'm gonna stay focused on the one that's 16 because this is where you have people that when you say, well, how did you take profit and I didn't? Okay, why did you take profit and I didn't? So let me help you understand. So by the time you hit your market execution, you're somewhere down here. Market execution, you're somewhere down here, right? And this is why it's important to understand if you're trend trading or counter trend trading. So by the time you got the currency pair, opened it up, got your market execution, you went through all of that. Some people 5, some people 7, whatever the case may be, right? So we're on, let's just say about average of 8. I've seen as high as 12, right? It just, on average, it just depends on the person. It depends on who you are, right? And your pip reaction time. That's why, you know, I kind of made that term up because everybody's different. You have a reaction time to this. So now here you are and you're at 7. Now you have to add your personal, right? You literally have to come in and add your broker spread. So now what is left? What is left? Till it cashed out, you got 8. Don't forget, out of this 8 is your broker spread. So, and then it pulls back up. Now, what happens, you know, what happens if, now remember, we don't know what this trade would have done. So I'm just giving you an example of maybe this was what if I was counter trend trading or something? Or you remember someone asked the question, you know, if I'm in a correction, right? This is why it's important to know. This is why we do time frame confluence, because this is why it's important to know if I'm trading with the trend or if you're counter trend trading. That's why that's very important to know. Because it's very important to know your pip reaction time, your personal pip reaction time. How long does it take you to get into a trade? Because if you have a high pip reaction time, if you have a broker with a high spread, right? If you have those factors, then do you really want to take the chance and counter trend trade? Or maybe you don't need to go for 10 pips if you know you're counter trend trading. So this is why when we talk about we trade with you and not for you, right? These are those factors. These are those things. Because if you are beginning and you are scalping, those are things that you really, really, really want to take into consideration. So does the Vibrata calculate pips or must we? It's important for you to understand how to count your pips. To go back to school where the teacher said, do your work, right? when you were in math class, and even though you knew you could, I can grab this ruler and I can run this ruler over it. But in the academy, it tells you how to count the pips. It shows you how to count the pips. You need to know when I hit market execution, that number on the left, I need to know how to count my pips. I really need to know how to count my pips, because if I'm counting on this ruler, it's slowing me down. So go back to when, you know, go back to when you were in school and it literally told you, you know, and they told you, do your work. Even though you know, when you get frustrated, you're like, but I just gave you the answer, right? Yeah, the ruler gave me the answer. It did. The ruler gave you the answer. But do you know how you got the answer? Because now when you go to put it in your take profit, you don't know what you're doing or why you're doing it. So you need to know why you're doing it. That's how you become the signal. Why are you doing what you're doing? So always count your pips out. It's really important for you to actually know what you're doing, right? That's really, really important. So, all right. So yeah, you'll understand it's going, you have to know your market orders, your market execution, your buy stop, your sell stops, your buy limits, your sales limits. So when you go through the academy, you'll know how to execute. Absolutely. So those are actually in there. So those are actually in there. So you definitely want to understand those, and those are actually in there. So what I wanted to show you, so the next thing is you guys wanted to understand, and some of the questions I got was the confluence, right? That was the confluence, right? That was definitely some of the questions. So let's talk about that. So how do we get some confluence? So here we go. I'm gonna go back to using the tools. And if I'm using the tools, and I'm gonna pull up an old trade, right? I'm gonna pull up a trade from earlier so you can see how it played out. And I wanna talk to you about the confluence, okay? Because the tools are very important, okay? We wanna pull it. And then I'm gonna actually pull 2 of them, okay? Actually, and I want to show you on the higher time frames, because remember when I said keep it in the back of your mind that the higher, and I want to get off this 15. So now I want to pause it. So because I'm gonna pull one from earlier, and that one is this GBP AUD. So let's click it here. And I'm pulling it from earlier because I want to show you how it played out. All right, so now I'm gonna grab a line and it's gonna tell me, so I just scroll, all I did is scroll all the way down and just grab one. And we're gonna see how this played out, right? So remember, so this says potential sale, right? Potential sale, GBP AUD on the hour. This is not a signal, right? You've been on a call with me before, you know it's not a signal. This is actually it's not a signal, it's a idea. It's a potential idea. And we got 1.99868, okay? Now, and it was called at 1500. Now that's the UTC time, so we're all on the same sheet of music. All right, so now it gave me a potential sale. Okay, it gave me a potential sale. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop down because we're talking about confluence, okay? Let's talk about some confluence. So, okay. All right, so hold on, ladies and gentlemen. So before we actually finish this out and jump into this, because I'm definitely gonna finish out this confluence, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm actually gonna turn this call over to Mr. Rogers. If you all know who he is actually the gentleman that you have seen on, let me see, it's not gonna pull up for me right now. It's taking his time, but he's a gentleman that you have seen when you first pull up the Vibrata, who is actually speaking at the very front of the Vibrata. So he is the actual visionary behind the BYOB movement. So Mr. Rogers, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're getting tremendous value out of the expertise of the trade whisperer herself, I need you to drop an 888 in the chat if you are getting tremendous value out of what she brings to the table. And folks, I'm so excited to know that you guys have given us the opportunity to lead you guys, and you guys really cashed out the day. You know, lives are being changed. You're literally unbothered because you have a skill set no matter what the economy is doing. Then folks, this is some valuable information. If you are excited about that, I need you to drop a 77 in the chat. If you've been cashing out all day today, I need you to drop yes, yes, yes. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you, I'm excited because we have a special guest that has graced us with their presence tonight. This gentleman is amazing, and it is amazing to know that not only are you connected with the young lady who created the strategy, the BYOB Cashout, but this amazing tool that is changing lives around the globe. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Dear friend of mine, we had the opportunity to meet 2 years ago. We conversed. I shared with him how powerful his tool was, how comparable it was than what the investment banks of the world utilize. And some of you may or may not know, I had the opportunity to be behind the veil with one of the three premier investment banking firms. I'm not going to tell you which one it was, but it's one of these three, Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman Sachs. And if you know anything about investment banking, you know they are the linchpin when it comes to investment banking world. And so with that being said, this gentleman, we get the privilege to hear from the actual creator of the web analyzer, which is now the Vibrata. So I wanted you guys to appreciate the connectivity that we have connected to the voice, the mind that created the tool that is blessing so many of your lives. So with that being said, I thought it would be robbery if we did not give him the opportunity to share with you the power of this tool. So I'm going to turn the call over to my dear friend, the creator of the web analyzer, which is now the Vibrata, none other than Mr. Stephen Hooley. Mr. Hooley, are you on the line?
I am. Wow, what a warm welcome. I hope you guys are having a really great night, and I really appreciate the chance to be here, Gerald.
Yes, yes, yes. So if you could just kind of, obviously, you know, this is what we do every Thursday night, BYOB Market Talks, but you created the tool, and, you know, obviously we've been having tremendous amount of success. And once again, kudos to you. Thank you for having the foresight, the vision. And if you don't mind me sharing this, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman is a premier creator, just recently, you know, youngest 25 years old, and just having such tremendous impact. And so I just want to turn the call over to you, and however you feel you want to share it. And if you want to drop on, I gave you access to the, if you wanted to jump on the tool, or just however you want to do. I just wanted to make sure that you got an opportunity, because you're blessing so many lives, and I want to make sure that you get an opportunity to understand and know the impact of what you're giving through the BYOB Cashout with the strategy being housed in the Vibrata and the web analyzer. So I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Well, you guys, I'm super excited. You know, I always love the chance to hop on a webinar and, number one, just be grateful to be able to share, you know, any time with you guys, and be grateful for your time, because I know every single one of you right now, you don't have to be on this call, especially with how crazy the world is being right now, right? You could be doing a million things, but you're here and you're learning and you're, you know, absorbing knowledge and spending your precious time to be here, you know, with Tasha, to be here with Gerald, to be here with me. And, you know, for that, I just want to say I'm grateful and thank you guys. You know, when I first brought the web analyzer to the company, there wasn't much in the company. There was swipe trades, there was an auto trader, and there was the harmonic scanner. And the harmonic scanner is amazing, You know, swipe trades was a really cool concept. But the web analyzer, you know, I'm grateful because it really revolutionized the way people were trading. And a lot of it came from, you know, just to give you guys a little backstory, since I have you all here, a lot of it came from me watching, you know, how do people trade? How are they winning? How are they failing? You know, what are they struggling with? The whole entire concept of the web analyzer, which they've now, of course, rebranded to Vibrata, the whole concept of it was I wanted to build a one-stop shop for currency trading and crypto trading and indice trading, and metals trading, a one-stop shop for trading that you wouldn't need another tool. And not only that, I also wanted to be able to create something like for those of you who know this, you know, a Bloomberg terminal for the layman. And, you know, I'll never forget, you know, all the, everything it took to bring the software to life, as well as the day that Gerald reached out to me. It was actually two different times. Actually, Gerald reached out to me, I remember, at a convention one time, and I you know, sat there with him. I talked with him. He told me, you know, what he thought, and I didn't fully take it seriously. I didn't quite understand the gravity of what Gerald was telling me. It was actually about, I don't know, 6 months, maybe a year tops later, that I reconnected with Gerald, and it really clicked. I really understood the power of what Gerald was telling me, which was, you guys, you have a leader in your organization. I hope you understand this. And this is not me, you know, this is me speaking from the heart. This is me speaking truth. So I hope you guys understand, you have a leader who used to work and has ties with some of the most powerful institutions that run this entire planet. And as you, especially those of you who are new, as you go through your journey in trading, and as you learn more and more about how Forex works, and cryptocurrency trading and interest rates and all the financial stuff, as you learn how it works, you'll understand just how much power these banks have, just how important they are to the economy, just, you know, how they drive everything we do in trading. And you have somebody who worked within it, who understood the banks, who has ties to the bank, who knew about trading software, that, you know, that bank spent, oh man, it was crazy money. You know, the figure that I found out it cost to put together some of the bank's trading software was just, it was huge. And you know, the cool thing is that you have a leader, right? Oh, I saw someone said, been trading for a while and this product is gold. Yeah, it's a culmination of, this is the cool thing about the product. It's a culmination of what works in trading. And, you know, we take out what doesn't. But the cool thing is you guys have somebody who's a very strong leader, very charismatic, very, very well thought, well put together, and just really cares. And he's able to bring to the table and say, hey, what I experienced inside of that bank, it's possible for the layman to get it. And I hope you guys understand, previously it was like the layman couldn't afford trading software. That was an institutional thing. That was a Wall Street thing. That was you had to have a lot of money thing, right? Trading wasn't a normal, average, everyday thing. You needed a lot of money for that. And when I say a lot of money, I guess it depends on perspective, but I know to the average person, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, that's a lot of money. And, you know, and if you had that, then I guess as an average person, you could, you know, try to trade, but most people don't have that, right? And to be able to compare what those banks had to anything we have today is truly spectacular to me. And so I just want you guys to understand the value, the gold that you have in a leader like Gerald, because it is truly amazing. And in the products, you know, I think it's just amazing that we're able to bring something comparable to a bank. You guys, banks have been around for way too long, right? Banks are powerful, right? Through time, through ages, banks are powerful. We have something that's comparable to the investment banks, and it's accessible from the palm of your hand. That's another thing that's crazy to me. It's accessible from the palm of your hand. You have the potential to do everything Tasha teaches from the palm of your hand. To me, that's wild, because you guys, there are so many people. If you could just take out the fact that, you know, today the world's a little crazy and struggling a little more right now, people struggle already, right? And to be able to say, hey, I have a tool, it's comparable to the banks, and I have an educator who used to work in the US military, who knows about finances, because I hope you guys know, if you don't, you know, Tasha's actually really good, has a really good understanding of modern finance. And, you know, so to have that, to have the tool, to have the educator, right? That is truly something special. And I've seen the BYOB trades, some of them. I've seen the testimonials. You guys, you have something that wins. You have something that I couldn't be more proud of, that I think is amazing. You have two leaders that are outstanding, and they care about every single one of you. You literally have the perfect cocktail for success right now. And now bringing it to the present day times, I want you guys to understand that we cannot, as a company, go out and promote the fact that, hey, there's the coronavirus. If you lost your job, come sign up for IM Mastery Academy, right? But you do have the ability to go reach out to people and say, hey, if anyone needs help, let me know. I am more than willing to help. You have the ability to say, hey, I'm so grateful that I'm able to work from home trading in the financial markets, right? You have the ability to speak up and say something, so long as it's not you just saying basically, you know, if you lost your job, you know, come sign up for IM Mastery Academy. You can't be so blatant, but you guys, this is the perfect time and opportunity to actually help other people, to spread the knowledge of Gerald, to spread the knowledge of Tasha, to spread the knowledge of Vibrata and how you can trade, right? This is a product that literally for the last 3 years has had the most testimonials of any other product in the entire company's history combined, right? It's a product that is powerful. You can use it in so many different ways. You guys have that at your fingertips. So I want you guys to understand that right now, the world, you know, for some people feels a little hopeless. And I don't know if any one of you on this call feel a little scared, a little anxious, a little hopeless, right? Maybe, hopefully, none of you do. But if you do, or you know someone who does, reach out to them and let them know, hey, why don't you just come see what I'm doing? Why don't you just come take a look? Because on the off chance you're able to change their lives, it's worth it. And if they don't, if it's not for them, if they don't like it, right? If they don't like it, it's okay. They don't need to be a part of it. They don't need to like it. They don't need to do it. But right now you have the perfect opportunity to be a light in a time when people, I don't know how many of you have ever seen the fear index, but the fear index is at the highest time, the highest level it's ever been in history, even since the Great Depression. You guys, people are afraid. People are scared. People fear for their future. But if they could understand the power of what you have, all of you on this call, if they could understand the power of what they could do with it. Now, we don't make guarantees, right? But if they could understand the power and the potential, that could be life-changing for so many different people. So I don't want you guys to go tell people, hey, I got the magic solution. Okay? I don't want you guys to go tell people, hey, you know, if you lost your job, you got to join IM Mastery Academy. I want you guys to go say, hey, I'm so grateful that I get to work from home, or, you know, I get to go to work and then I get to make some extra money from home, and it's fun, and I'm getting great results, you know, with Gerald and with Tasha and with the BYOB strategy. I just want you to talk about your results. And I want you to let people know, hey, you know, there's hope. There's something really great in the midst of everything that's going on. And if you do that, I can bet that you're going to get a lot of people attracted to your business for you builders. And for those of you who just love to trade, well, you're in the sweet spot already, right? You just hop on with Tasha and you're taken care of. So you guys, I don't want to take this this call too long. I just wanted to share my gratitude and share with you guys the power of what you have, and let you guys know that now's the time to be sharing with people. Now's the time to be getting on those calls, right? Getting on those calls, reaching out to your loved ones, reaching out to your friends, hosting a Zoom session, letting people know the results, posting in the Vibrata Facebook group. Hey, I'm winning with BYOB. I'm winning with Tasha. I'm catching these pips, right? Now's the time to be doing it, because the world needs it. The world needs to hear what you have. So I'm super grateful, you guys. Thank you for having me come on, Gerald, and thank you for having me come on, Tasha. I want to turn it back over to Tasha, because at the end of the day, it's cool to hear from me, but it's even cooler to hear from somebody who's teaching you how to actually catch the pips, right? So thank you guys so much.
Mr. Rogers, would it be okay if I ask Mr. Hooley a question? This is Dr. Bikefield.
Absolutely, go ahead.
So how are you doing, Mr. Hooley? I had the pleasure of taking you to the airport about a year ago. And when we did that, you shared with me a story which I really would like for you to share. In my talk with the finance doctor, we talk a lot about mindset. We talk about how important it is that we have the opportunity to share this skill set and this mindset with our children. Well, you shared with me how your grandfather's impact on you put you in a position to be able to develop this from a technology perspective. Can you please share that with our BYOB audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Gerald, do we have a little bit of time for me to share a little bit about myself and my story?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm honored, guys. I was 4 when my grandfather, introduced me to a computer. He was a computer teacher. And so he sat me on an old Apple Mac computer, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was a 4-year-old little boy clicking buttons, didn't know what the heck I was doing, of course, but it was cool, right? And, so I grew up with that computer, actually. I grew up getting to click those buttons. I grew up getting to try to figure things out and tinker. And over time, of course, he would teach me things. Right as I got older, he would teach me things. I got in elementary school, and I was teaching the elementary school computer teacher because I already knew. And it was the coolest thing. I found a love and a passion for teaching, really early on in life. I was under 10 years old and teaching a elementary school teacher how to use a computer so that she could teach other people. That was amazing to me, right? And then, I guess it's a little embarrassing, but for the ladies on here, you'll appreciate this. But I had a crush on a girl in elementary school when I was about 9, and I decided to teach myself. How to program a birthday cake website, so I could try to impress her. And I did that. I taught myself how to program. I made the website. I presented it to her. As far as I can remember, she loved it, but I haven't talked to that girl since elementary school, and I kept up on with the programming. And I started my first business at 16, making websites for college students, because I went to an early college high school, and I kind of figured, hey, there's a lot of students here who are trying to start a business. What if I start a business myself making their websites? And it was a good introduction to the tech world professionally, because I could charge super cheap or even do it for free to build up a resume. And I took that and I went, okay, well, I'm 16. I'm making maybe 500, 600, 700 bucks, in a few months. This isn't really going to support right now. It's not going to support, a car. I had a girlfriend at the time. It's not going to support the girl once I'm out of high school. Like, it's going to take time to build this business, So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to use these websites and build a resume. And I went and got myself a tech career. I've worked for some of the world's biggest tech companies, Bluehost, Dell EMC, which used to be EMC, Oracle, some of the big tech giants. And if you don't know their names, it's mainly because they're business to business, right? They're on the back end of things, but they're just as big as Apple, just as big as Google, just as big as some of the biggest companies in the world. And I kept working on my business, actually. I kept working on my business. I kept making websites. I kept networking. And I just did that as kind of a side thing. And then when I was about 23, flash forward a whole bunch, right? When I was about 23, I was able to get through some pretty hard personal times, get the first version of the web analyzer developed. And long story short, I ended up landing at IML. We brought the web analyzer and it just took off like a rocket. And all my investments, all my business ventures, everything that I had worked on up until that point just clicked. And I was blessed and able to retire from a technical career at 23 years old, something I never expected. And I mean, I guess I expected it, you know, later on in life, but, you know, so young, it was pretty quick. I went from working 18-hour days, you know, going to work at a job and coming home and working on software and business to I could work too if I wanted. Now, that was amazing to me, you know. So it's really interesting how just the influence of one man was able to put me on a computer and influence the rest of my life. Because had I never touched a computer, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know if I'd be sitting here with all of you, talking to you, telling you my story. I don't know if I'd be able to tell people the ups and the downs and the craziness that's been, you know, my life. You know, I've got a really, really interesting story. You know, and I'm not going to share it tonight, but, you know, one day I hope to publish it in a book. And there's a little bit of my story, just a little bit on my YouTube channel. But, you know, I've been through quite a bit, and it's cool that I'll tell you this. I never wanted to be a statistic, even though I should have been. And I know that some of you on this call can identify with this. So that's why I want to share this. I never wanted to be a statistic. I grew up poor. I grew up in not the greatest household, if you guys can catch what I'm saying. I grew up without many means. Yeah, and I didn't want to be a statistic. I promised myself at 7 years old, I was going to figure out how to not live like I saw my parents living. Determined to change the course of my future for myself, for my future children. And I wanted to be able to take care of my family members that were struggling even at that time, right? So from a very early age, I was very determined. And computers, funny enough, were the way that I did it. But I want you guys to know, you know, because maybe this will help some of you in your journey. Computers were not what I thought I would end up doing in life. Software is not what I thought I'd end up doing. I wanted to be a lawyer. When I was in second grade, I wanted to be a lawyer. And I never pursued that, ever. I never pursued it once, straight out of high school. I went straight into that technical career. And I wouldn't have it any other way, right? I gained so many cool friends, so much knowledge. And it was a great experience. I learned so much from struggling through that tech career at such a young age. So I wouldn't trade it for the world, but I feel blessed that just one guy, one computer teacher, right? And this is why every one of you who are educators, any one of you who are medical experts, any one of you who, you know, who work in any service field, a cash register, a restaurant, you know, if you interact with people, I want you to understand the power that you guys really have. Because my grandpa was a farm boy from the middle of nowhere in Utah, right? He was determined when he was a kid to make sure he didn't have to work a farm. So he got an education. He became a teacher, right? One normal man's influence allowed me and facilitated me to be able to change, gratefully, a lot of lives. And so I want you guys to understand, none of you, right? None of you should ever doubt that you have the ability to change lives. And I just want to inspire you with that, because it's true. Every single one of you has the ability to introduce, just like my grandfather introduced me to computers, right? You have the ability to introduce people to trading. You have the ability to introduce people to a new mindset, more important than trading, a new mindset. because that's what this world needs right now, in my opinion. They need a new mindset. We need to think different. If we're going to avoid the problems that we're having in the world right now, we need to think differently. We desperately, and I know Tasha can agree with this, we desperately need financial literacy so badly, so badly. So every one of you has the ability to help introduce people to an amazing tool, to financial literacy, to a new mindset, to things that can change their lives. And it's okay if they're not open to it, but the people who are, their lives are worth changing. So that's a little bit about my story, you guys. I'm honored to be able to tell it. Thank you guys, you know, for letting me share that with you. And I hope it inspired all of you tonight to go out and take action and go out and share what Tasha and Gerald have.
Thank you so much, my friend. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the special dynamic when you know that you meet great people. I mean, instantly, we met on the 9th of March, 2018. And just like he shared with you, I shared with him the power of his tool. And we literally did not have any communication until a year later. And it was instant connectivity. And obviously, as a true fan of the software, his expertise, and being able to combine our stories together, here you are, as he said, you know, the power of his yes, the power of my yes, and now we're encouraging you to say yes to the people who need to hear from you. I'm so excited. I'm just humbled and blessed to know that this is my dear friend, and the best is yet to come. So what I want to do is I'm going to turn the call back over to our host, our trade whisperer, our educator for this evening as we begin to transition. But folks, do not take this moment lightly. This is a kairotic moment. This is a God moment for you who've been in the valley of indecision, whether or not you want to stay the course. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what you may be experiencing, you may be having some pullback in your accounts. You may have hit a couple of stop losses, but the purpose, the press, the importance of you being diligent, of you taking the opportunity to realize that such a time as this, out of all the things any of us could be doing at this moment, we are all synergistically blended together, operating from a collective conscious, from a gentleman who sat on his grandfather's lap at the age of 4. And now, because of the sovereignty of Almighty God, his intellectual power begins to help all of us collectively as we go into our silos and our communities, our places of fellowship, and our places of worship. So if there's anything that I can press upon every one of you tonight, this is how much God has favored you, that he will allow you to have this private conversation to hear from the heart of a gentleman who just told you the adversity he had to overcome and made a decision to ensure that his future children, he now has children now, but he made a decision before, and a good man shall leave an inheritance to his children's children. So I encourage you tonight. I appreciate you. And if you've gotten any value out of what you've heard and what you've been experiencing, I need you to drop an 888 in the chat right now. I need you to drop an 888 in the chat. So with that being said, once again, as your business partner, as your humble servant, I'm going to turn it back over to our educator for tonight as we begin to transition.
Woo! Wow, wow, wow. Mr. Hooley, wow. Thank you so much. It is always a pleasure. It is always a pleasure. Anytime we get to connect, anytime we get to speak, it is always a pleasure to hear your voice. And I thank you for gracing us with your presence this evening. I mean,